The mystical journey through Moonlit Grove. Once upon a time, beyond the highest hills and the widest meadows, there was a forest known as Moonlit Grove. This wasn't an ordinary forest. By day, it looked like any other, but when the sun dipped below the horizon and the moon rose high in the sky, the forest came to life in ways few could ever imagine. The trees in Moonlit Grove had leaves that shimmered silver in the moonlight. Flowers bloomed that only opened their petals under the stars, glowing softly in blues, purples, and pinks. Animals roamed the forest, but these were not ordinary animals. They were enchanted, able to talk, dance, and even sing under the glow of the full moon. In a small village on the edge of Moonlit Grove lived a boy named Leo. Leo loved the forest and had always been fascinated by the stories his parents told him. They spoke of a great magical creature called Luna the White Stag, a creature who ruled the forest and watched over all its inhabitants. Luna had a magnificent silver coat that sparkled like stardust, and his antlers glowed like the brightest moon. According to legend, Luna could grant wishes to those who were pure of heart and brave enough to find him. One warm summer evening, as Leo lay in bed, his mind filled with thoughts of Moonlit Grove. The moon was full, casting a soft, magical light over the village. Leo's heart raced with excitement. He had always dreamed of exploring the magical forest at night. Tonight, something inside him told him it was the perfect night for an adventure. Quietly, he got out of bed, slipped on his shoes, and grabbed his small lantern. As he tiptoed out of his house and into the night, he could feel the cool breeze gently rustling the trees. The village was quiet, and the only sound was the soft chirping of crickets. When Leo reached the edge of Moonlit Grove, the forest seemed to shimmer under the moonlight, inviting him inside. Taking a deep breath, he stepped into the woods. The moment he crossed the tree line, everything changed. The air was filled with a soft hum, as if the forest itself was alive with magic. The trees above him glowed faintly, their silver leaves rustling in greeting. Leo's eyes widened with wonder as he walked deeper into the grove. Every step he took seemed to awaken the forest even more. Suddenly, Leo heard a soft giggle. He turned and saw a pair of glowing eyes peeking out from behind a tree. "Who's there?" Leo called out, a little nervous but more curious than afraid. Out from behind the tree stepped a small creature. It looked like a squirrel, but its fur shimmered like silver moonbeams, and its tail had tiny stars twinkling in it. "Hello there," the squirrel chirped. "I'm Starla. What brings you to Moonlit Grove on such a special night?" "I'm looking for Luna, the White Stag," Leo said, his voice filled with excitement. "I've heard he can grant wishes. I want to see if the stories are true." Starla twitched her nose and tilted her head. "Ah, Luna," she said thoughtfully. "He does indeed grant wishes, but it's not as easy as just finding him. You'll have to be brave, kind, and clever to meet him. But don't worry, I can guide you." Leo's heart soared. "That would be amazing." "Thank you, Starla." And so, Starla led Leo deeper into the forest. The path they followed seemed to glow under the moon's light, and as they walked, they passed flowers that sang in soft, sweet voices, and trees that whispered ancient stories. As they ventured further, they came across a large, crystal-clear pond. The water sparkled like diamonds, and just above it hovered a group of glowing butterflies, their wings shimmering like rainbows. But blocking their path was a group of frogs, all sitting on lily pads. Starla stopped and whispered to Leo, "These are the guardians of the pond. To cross, we'll need to answer their riddle." One of the frogs, a wise-looking one with a crown made of tiny water droplets, hopped forward and croaked, "To pass the pond, you must solve this riddle. I rise with the sun and set with the moon, yet I am not a star or a light in the sky. What am I?" Leo thought for a moment. He had always loved riddles. He looked around and noticed the reflection of the moon in the water. Then, he remembered something his father had once told him about the sun and the moon sharing the same sky but at different times. And then it clicked. The answer is the horizon, Leo exclaimed. It rises and sets with the sun and the moon. The frogs croaked in delight, and the wise frog nodded. You are correct, young one. You may pass. With that, the frogs jumped aside, and a glowing bridge of lily pads appeared across the pond. Leo and Starla quickly crossed and continued their journey. As they ventured further, the forest grew darker, though the moonlight still guided their way. Soon, they came upon a wide meadow, bathed in silver light, but there was something strange about it. The grass seemed to ripple like waves, and in the center of the meadow stood a large, shadowy figure. Leo took a deep breath and stepped forward. As they approached, the shadowy figure began to take shape. It was not a creature but a dark cloud hovering just above the ground. From within the cloud, a deep, rumbling voice spoke. Who dares to enter my meadow? Leo stood tall, though his heart raced with nervousness. I am Leo, and I seek Luna, the white stag. Please, let us pass. The cloud swirled, and the voice spoke again. To pass, you must show kindness to the darkness. Only then will the path to Luna reveal itself. Leo was puzzled. How could he show kindness to darkness? As he stood there thinking, Starla tugged gently at his sleeve. Look, she whispered, pointing to a small, withered flower at the edge of the meadow. It was drooping, its petals almost gray. Leo approached the flower and knelt beside it. He gently cupped his hands around it, shielding it from the wind, and whispered softly, You're beautiful, even in the dark. I can see your strength. As he spoke, the flower began to glow faintly. Its petals brightened, and soon it stood tall and proud, shimmering with soft blue light. The shadowy cloud above the meadow slowly faded away, revealing a path bathed in moonlight. You have shown kindness, the voice echoed one last time before disappearing into the night. Leo and Starla followed the moonlit path until they reached a tall hill. At the top of the hill stood Luna, the white stag. He was even more magnificent than Leo had imagined. His coat shimmered like 1,000 stars, and his antlers glowed with a gentle silver light. Luna looked down at Leo and Starla, his eyes kind and wise. You have shown great bravery, kindness, and cleverness on your journey, he said in a voice that sounded like the wind through the trees. You have earned the right to make a wish. Leo stood there, his heart pounding. He thought about all the things he could wish for, adventures, treasures, or magic beyond his wildest dreams. But then he remembered something more important. I wish, Leo said slowly, that the magic of Moonlit Grove will always be here, so that everyone who comes to this forest can feel its wonder and kindness. Luna smiled, his silver eyes glowing brighter. That is a pure wish, Leo. And so it shall be. With a gentle nod, Luna touched the ground with his glowing antlers. The forest seemed to pulse with light, and for a moment, everything glowed brighter than the moon itself. Leo felt a warmth in his heart, knowing that Moonlit Grove would remain a place of wonder and magic forever. As the night grew quieter, Luna slowly faded into the moonlight, and the path back to the village opened before Leo and Starla. Together, they walked back through the glowing trees and humming flowers, the magic of the forest all around them. When they reached the edge of the forest, Leo turned to Starla and smiled. Thank you for guiding me, Starla. I'll never forget this night. Starla twinkled with a smile. The magic of Moonlit Grove will always be with you, Leo. And who knows? You may visit again one day. With one last wave, Starla disappeared into the trees, and Leo quietly made his way back home. As he crawled into bed, he felt the warmth of the forest in his heart, and as he drifted off to sleep, he dreamed of shimmering trees, talking animals, and the gentle glow of Luna, the white stag. The end.